Welcome back. We're looking at the all-important Electoral College map right now. The states in red are the states that President Trump won in 2016. He wins if he wins all those states again. The states in blue are the ones Hillary Clinton won 4 years ago. Essentially, the Biden campaign hoping that they can flip these three states: Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. They have leads in the polls right now in those three Rust Belt states. And as you see, if they flip those three, they've got 278, enough to win the White House. That's the easiest path to 270 for the Biden campaign and the path they're focusing on here. Let's bring in our panel right now as we continue to talk about this week's news. Rima Shahid, Tony Samuel, Mike Murphy, Robin Winston with us today. And let's start with Rima, who's the executive director of Women for Change Indiana. What does all of this say about the importance of the Midwest, and how did the president and the former VP do on the debate stage Thursday night, trying to win over undecided voters in Michigan and in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, so I think that the nationwide polls, they only show the popular vote. What we know is from out of the last 5 presidents, 2 of them have really been folks that have lost the popular vote, and the loser goes to the White House. And so it's really interesting. I think that the polls don't say a lot. They only do say what people intend to do at the end of the day. And so what really matters right now is for people to get out the vote. I think what's interesting here in Indiana is that we really have competitive state house races up and down the ballot. All the women of the 5th state Senate races, Hamilton County and Marion County have interesting races, and they're very competitive for the first time in a decade or so. And so I think this shows how much redistricting has hurt the state of Indiana and how competitive races do turn out the vote.
And what kind of impact might the presidential race have on some of these down ballot races? Tony?
Well, I think it's going to be good for all of the down ballot races that Donald Trump is going to continue to surge, continue to overtake Biden in the polls. Remember, my point has been that the polls are skewed in Joe Biden's favor. We're seeing what is happening now is similar to what happened in 2016, and there's that hidden Trump vote. Now, let me tell you about those states specifically. The Boilermakers Union has endorsed Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. Joe Biden tried to lie and say that they were for him, and they clearly corrected him on that. Manufacturing is the reason that Trump is going to win those 3 states in the Midwest, including Ohio, and I will throw Minnesota in there. Donald Trump also huge support for law enforcement, and law enforcement supporting him. So we've seen what's happened in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Also in Michigan, a Democrat governor that's trying to shut everything down, churches, schools. People are opposed to that, and those folks are energized for Donald Trump. That's why he's going to win all of those Midwest states.
Robin, what are your thoughts on what we saw on the debate stage Thursday night and how that plays out here in the Midwest?
Well, I think it plays out well for Joe Biden. Pennsylvania is his home state, and his campaign headquarters is in Philadelphia. Former President Obama campaigned over there last week. So, that's clearly a battleground state. In Michigan, Tony left out a major fact. There are 13 people in jail today, maybe 12, maybe one got out, that were all being charged by the FBI for trying to abduct and possibly try the Democratic governor for her actions. I think the residual of that has been, look how well the Biden campaign is now doing in Michigan. Wisconsin was where we were going to have our national convention. It's now at play. Record turnout among African Americans in Milwaukee, which we did not have in 16. And then the threat of the president to change the tires on the Beast, his car, has resonated in northern Ohio, where there are people that make tires every day. So I think the Midwest is no longer flyover territory. I think it's going to be battleground territory, and keep your eyes on Ohio on election night for Joe Biden also.
Well, we're going to see the president and the former VP tonight on 60 Minutes. Mike, will this last debate have any impact? A lot of people have already voted this year.
Well, about 40 million people, Dan, have already voted, slightly more. In Indiana, about 1 million people have voted. I don't think the debate made that big of a difference for people who have yet to vote. I will say, though, the biggest mistake that was made in the entire debate on Thursday night was when Joe Biden said he's going to get rid of the oil industry. It's an unforced error. If he loses, I will suggest he's going to lose because the people of Pennsylvania, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, and other oil-dependent states find that to be very offensive.
And of course, certainly, Rima, the coronavirus very much top of mind in this race for president and in the race for governor, with cases really climbing here in Indiana.
Yeah, I think so. I think the fact is that the response in terms of containing this pandemic was up to the executive branch in Washington, D.C., and here in Indiana, up to the governor's office. The day that they had the rally in Fort Wayne was one of the highest days that we've had in terms of cases here in Indiana since the spring. And the fact is that there was not many masks there, not many social distancing. And folks really have to think about the fact that we are at stage 5, but our numbers show higher than in the spring. And I think Hoosiers are at risk every single day. And something really has to be done to contain this critical pandemic that's really taking the lives of so many Hoosiers and Americans.
Tony, a lot has been made about the vice president's trip to Fort Wayne with just 12 days until the election. Indiana is not a swing state. Was that, do you think, about helping Governor Holcomb as well?
No, I think Governor Holcomb is fine. I think it was more about, remember, he was going to try to vote a couple of weeks ago, and then
right.
For various reasons, they had to reschedule that. And so it was rescheduled, and he voted on Friday morning. So I think just swinging down from Michigan, he had an event in Michigan, made sense to stop in Fort Wayne and do, whatever else you can do in Indiana since you had to be there to vote. And then on Saturday, yesterday, he was off to Ohio and Pennsylvania. I'll make a point on the coronavirus numbers. Yes, they're increasing. They're increasing around the world. But remember, the president mentioned it Thursday night, 99% of people recover. 99.9% of our youth recover. Also, this the second wave is less, there are less viral particles in the strain. It's weaker. And our therapeutics are better than ever. So less people are hospitalized, less people are dying around the world. And the U.S. has led in providing ventilators, providing PPE, providing